or as alive, but there has been a confirmation. There has been, well, as good as a confirmation from the draft. And it's unfortunate they leaked the expansion draft, or at least leaked part of the expansion.
The WNBA expansion draft was one of the most thrilling events for basketball enthusiasts this year, particularly with the Golden State Valkyries joining the league. Fans eagerly discussed how this new team would build its roster, and one name that frequently surfaced in these conversations was Caitlin Clark. Known for her remarkable scoring skills, long-range shooting, and leadership on the court, Caitlin is currently one of the brightest stars in women's basketball. The possibility of her joining the Valkyries generated a lot of enthusiasm.
Right, there we go. We have our first 4 names of the reveal, and there they are. And just in case you didn't pick up on it, these names are being announced in alphabetical order from the teams of the W. So there's no ranking here in terms of who's most important.
When the draft results were revealed, a surprising turn of events occurred. The Valkyries did not select Caitlin Clark. This unexpected decision took both fans and analysts by surprise, igniting discussions across social media and sports networks. So, what led to this choice? The Golden State Valkyries expansion draft was a pivotal moment for the WNBA. It's rare for a new team to have the opportunity to build a roster from the ground up, and fans were eager to see who they would select. While many anticipated bold choices, the decision not to pick Caitlin Clark, one of the league's brightest talents, led to widespread debate and confusion.
As for the names on the back of the jerseys, we do have 4 more names that are about to be revealed in just a moment, but we do want to do a little table set of the Valkyries' notable games during what will be their inaugural season. They'll open the season in the Chase Center against the Sparks in a battle for Cali, some other marquee matchups as well. Defending champ Liberty May 27th, and they've got the Aces and Fever.
Caitlin Clark has been nothing short of exceptional. Her collegiate career at Iowa made her a household name, and her transition to the WNBA only expanded her influence. A prolific scorer and gifted playmaker, she has the ability to draw crowds and win games. So, why didn't the Valkyries pick her when they had the opportunity? The decision stems from a combination of strategy, roster-building priorities, and the challenges of managing star power on a brand-new team. Let's start with Caitlin Clark's undeniable talent. She's more than just a scorer. She's a game-changer. Her ability to make three-pointers from nearly any distance and her exceptional court vision make her a unique asset. On top of that, she's a natural leader, often taking over games when they matter most. Any team would be fortunate to have her, but building a new franchise isn't solely about talent. It's about fit, team chemistry, and long-term planning. The Valkyries entered the expansion draft with a clear goal: to build a team that could not only capture attention but also compete for championships. This meant selecting players who could bring versatility and balance to their roster. While drafting a superstar like Caitlin Clark would have been an easy way to generate headlines, it could have interfered with the delicate process of forming a cohesive unit. One of the Valkyries' key selections, veteran center Tammy Bentley, demonstrates this strategic approach. Bentley brings defensive strength and leadership, which are vital for any team trying to establish its identity. Her selection raised eyebrows, as it meant bypassing Caitlin Clark, who ultimately remained with the Indiana Fever. Fans speculated that Bentley's departure from the Fever was tied to Clark's rising influence within the team. This brings us to an interesting point. Caitlin Clark isn't just a basketball player. She's a brand. Her presence on the court generates media attention, boosts merchandise sales, and energizes the fan base for the Indiana Fever. She's a cornerstone of their rebuild. But for the Valkyries, drafting a player of her caliber could have introduced complications. Managing a star player like Clark demands significant resources, not just financially, but in terms of team dynamics. Clark's style of play requires the offense to revolve around her. She thrives when she has the ball in her hands, and while this approach can work for established teams with well-defined systems, it can be risky for a new franchise still finding its identity. The Valkyries likely wanted to avoid becoming overly dependent on one player, no matter how talented. Instead, they focused on building a more balanced roster, one that could evolve into a cohesive team capable of competing across all areas without leaning too heavily on any single individual.
From the Atlanta Dream, the Golden State Valkyries select center Ileana Rupert.
Another layer to this decision is the Valkyries' emphasis on defense and versatility. Players like Blay Alana and Monique Billings bring flexibility across multiple positions, allowing the team to adapt to a variety of matchups. While drafting Clark would have been enticing, it may have restricted their ability to build a well-rounded roster. However, we can't overlook the Fever's role in this process as part of the expansion draft. Teams were allowed to protect certain players, and unsurprisingly, the Fever chose to protect Caitlin Clark, effectively removing her from the Valkyries' draft pool. This decision, however, came with a cost. It left players like Bentley unprotected for the Fever. It was a calculated risk on the Fever's part, prioritizing Clark's future with the team while accepting the potential loss of other valuable contributors. This move highlights Clark's importance to the Fever's rebuild. She's not just a player but a franchise cornerstone, and losing her would have been a severe setback for their long-term plans. Still, some fans feel the Fever made a mistake by leaving Blay unprotected. As a reliable contributor with experience and toughness, she brought essential qualities to the Valkyries. The expansion draft was an opportunity for the Valkyries to make a bold statement to the league and their future fans. By passing on high-profile players like Caitlin Clark, they signaled their commitment to building a team grounded in depth, teamwork, and strategic planning. This approach may not have generated immediate excitement, but it set the stage for long-term success. Not everyone agrees with this strategy, though. Critics argue that the Valkyries missed a chance to draft a generational talent like Caitlin Clark. Her ability to draw fans and elevate her teammates makes her a rare commodity in the WNBA. Passing on her may be seen as a risk, especially for a new team trying to establish itself in a competitive league. However, there is merit in the Valkyries' decision. Building a successful franchise requires time, careful planning, and a balanced roster. While star players like Caitlin Clark can change the game, they'd also come with challenges, both on and off the court, that new teams may not be ready to manage. The expansion draft was not just about acquiring talent. It was about laying the foundation for a team capable of competing at the highest level. Looking ahead, all eyes will be on the Valkyries' inaugural season. Will their strategic approach pay off? Or will they regret passing on a player like Caitlin Clark? The answer may take time to reveal, but one thing is certain: this decision will continue to be scrutinized. Understanding the Valkyries' choice requires considering the broader picture of building a new team. Starting from scratch, there's immense pressure to make an impact, and selecting a player like Caitlin Clark would have definitely generated buzz and put fans in seats. But a franchise's success isn't determined by hype alone. It's about winning games and fostering a sustainable culture. The Valkyries seem to have prioritized balance over star power. One significant factor in their decision was Clark's fit within a new system. Known for her high-energy, high-usage style, she thrives in systems built to showcase her individual talents. However, for a team like the Valkyries, drafting someone of her caliber could have resulted in an unbalanced roster, potentially sacrificing depth and versatility. The temptation to build entirely around Clark might have been strong, but it could have come at the cost of developing a more well-rounded team. On the other hand, passing on a star like Clark carries undeniable risks. Historically, teams that secure elite talent early on often set the stage for future success. Clark's ability to draw double teams, stretch defenses, and control the pace of a game makes her a generational player. By not drafting her, the Valkyries could be betting on their ability to find complementary talent in the future, a gamble that may or may not pay off.
Number one last night, but for her rookie season, she's only making $76,000. I say only, but that's just in comparison to other NBA players and WNBA players. What does that say about the pay?
Clark's pulling in more than some top NBA rookies.
Now, word on the street is that Caitlin Clark basically made around $11 million for the year of 2024.
Can you believe that the girl everyone thinks is getting shortchanged is actually out earning some of the guys?
The average ticket price has gone up, say roughly $100. So that right there is looking at $1 million per game. And so if you take that times 14 home games, that's $14 million.
They did release a list of the top earning female athletes, and Caitlin Clark is 10 at 11.1 million a few months ago, and it's going to continue to grow and grow and grow. I would be shocked if it's under 15 million. And the fact is, if she didn't get screwed by Nike, and got what she was realistically worth, which is probably the 10 mil a year, that could be close